Welcome to Little Talks, your weekly dose of marketing news, trends, and insights from Littlefield Agency. Grab your coffee, turn up the volume, and let's get into it.
Welcome back to another edition of Little Talks with Littlefield Agency. I'm Sam Littlefield. With me is my co-host, Roop, and Chelsea's in our ears. We had a lunch and learn yesterday. Really good job, by the way.
Thank you.
Roop and Chris Kaiser led it here at the agency, talking about a prompt manager tool that Chris has created and a lot of custom GPTs that you're working through, which is just really, really neat. And just kind of, formally introducing this to the agency, not formally, but just, hey, you have access to this and here's things that we need to focus on between now and the end of the year, which is very timely because this is a very AI-focused podcast topic. But anyway, you created an LA onboarding GPT.
Yeah.
And we took a quiz together, and it was not good.
No, we didn't do well.
Beth was over too. Good thing we love Beth.
She was so anxious for every question. She was like, like on the shows you have to hit the buzzer.
Yeah.
And they hit it before they even know what the question is. That's kind of how she was doing
it. It was super cute. But anyway, it was. I think it was like who is the president of Littlefield Agency and the leader, president?
Who's the CEO and president of Littlefield Agency? And the options are
Sam Littlefield,
Brock
Campbell,
David Littlefield, to confuse people, Brock Campbell, and Chelsea Clement. And
everyone was like, okay, we know the answer to that. But Chelsea just started like viciously giggling. I was sitting right next to her. I was like, what plan do you, are you like overtaking me?
Yeah, I kind of expected her to come tell me, can you change that for fun? Can we have fun with it?
Yeah, right. Anywho, really, really interesting. But we have a great AI topic beforehand. You two, Claude and Roop, you guys have a big day today, specifically in 1 hour and 18 minutes. And tell our listeners what's going on.
It's fantasy football draft season, baby.
Bingo, boom, boom, boom. Now, cash money. I got my money on Claude.
We drafted an hour and a half. I'm in the 8th spot, and Claude, you're in what? 7th? 5th.
That's a good spot to be in.
It's better than 8th, but
I think
we draft in the LFG, Littlefield Fantasy Group League.
Yes.
Dude, I love it. Oh my God.
Last year's defending champion, Zach Bateman, is back.
And his wife, Taylor, is my co-manager.
Yeah,
again,
there's shenanigans.
I like this. So there's like, whoa, I like this. Mm-hmm. And there, we have 24 people here at the agency. 12
are in. I think we had 10 last year, didn't we? Or did we have 12 last year?
We had a lot.
Yeah.
Well, Brock is new this year.
Yes, Brock, Sarah joined last minute.
Chad's in.
Joy was in last year, so that makes sense because she's at home now.
Someone else new joined.
We've got new faces.
It was Brock and Sarah.
Yeah, that's great.
By the way,
I love the LFG guys, Littlefield Fantasy Group.
I just picked that up today. My team name is LFG, but it's Let's Field Goal.
Yeah.
And I played Zach in the championship last year while we were in Vegas. Was the championship weekend, so he and I were kind of like it was fantastic.
That is amazing.
Yeah, he beat me by like 4 or 5 points.
What's the pot, guys? What's the entry fee?
Oh, I don't even know.
$20.
I hope it's not over 20.
Yeah.
Do you know something they do that's controversial though? I'm gonna.
Oh boy.
Tom, I'm looking at you. So
T-Dog.
When you make it to the championship, traditionally they split the pot between the winner and the runner-up, but not in the Littlefield Fantasy Group. I found out. So the champion does get a check, and I think it was like $300. It's not a lot. It gets a check, but the runner-up does not. Instead, the winner of the toilet bowl, the loser bracket,
Julie
gets a check.
Evans got it last year, and it was a tiny,
little check. Yeah,
but how much was it? There wasn't any money.
Yeah, there was money.
What?
Yeah, it was like $75 or something.
Oh my gosh, T-Dog, he's coming for you, bro.
The commish.
What's T-Dog's? What's the commissioner's? What number draft is he?
I was just looking at the
Tom's
order.
just a generally lucky person.
Yeah, he is. I think he's co-commissioner technically.
Fourth. Oh, okay.
Don't he and Beth do it together?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But here's what I love. I was walking by T-Dog earlier. I was like, hey, man, don't be upset if you see all of us on fantasy for a good chunk of time. It's like, I don't care at all. I'm so glad you guys are doing that. But here's the great thing. Mel was like, okay, do I draft a quarterback soon, first? What's my strategy? Well, here's the deal. And I tell this every year to this group. We had a fantasy football league back in my global agency days. There was a lady. Her name is Layla. Layla is from Brazil. She doesn't know you know what about football because football to her is soccer, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, 2,000 people agency. I don't know. There were probably 100 people in the fantasy league. I forget the buy-in, but it was a huge pot. Layla, and shout out to her. I love that lady. Literally picked her fantasy team based off her favorite butts.
Yeah. It's a strategy. I've heard of it.
She won the whole pot.
Yeah. You can go by butt.
I mean, and I remember like people were giving her such like, oh my God, that is so stupid. Like not the butts, like she drafts whoever with a great butt. And then they like totally had a
what website was she using to like study?
Yeah, I
for
know.
this?
I want to know what she was using.
I literally think
There's
it was
probably like a Twitter page. It's like best NFL butts.
Or I
I
think
I've seen something like that.
Layla was really into
seen-
Tom Brady at
yeah.
the time, guys. Like,
well.
and it was kind of when Tom was just and then obviously Tom's a heck of a quarterback. But anyway, so to you all, I'd encourage maybe some butts, some whatever you want to do, whatever your strategy is, but. For those with spreadsheets, it usually doesn't pan out too well. I'm being serious.
I can't draft by butt.
Oh, please do. So we got that going on, and then it's great. We have an 8-year tradition here at the agency. Labor Day and Memorial Day, we give the Friday off before you have the Monday off, so it just creates for a longer weekend.
Nice weekend.
Coming up on a long Labor Day weekend, man. This is the last full week of August. What? Did the summer go? 78 degrees here in Tulsa, which is just incredible. But anyway, we got a long weekend ahead, which is super great.
You know where it's cooler?
San Francisco.
The running tree. So yeah, we're inbounds next week. We talked about last week, but next week is our inbound. We're off air. We won't have a podcast next week.
But we'll come out with a bang the week of September 8th.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
Yeah.
Okay, topic. Claude, let's rock and roll. SEO, AI, and the future of search.
Yeah, we've talked about this a couple of times, I think, at least once.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But it's time for an update and time to talk about it again.
Absolutely. And here's the thing. Very, 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 very timely topic. Awesome client of ours, Siva, up in Ohio. I had a great touch base with him last week, and he was picking my brain. I was like, hey, Siva, I'm gonna give you my opinion. There's someone that is so better versed. So this is for Siva. This is for our clients. This is for our prospective clients. This is for people that are just generally interested in LLMs. And it's a really, really good topic because search has changed. Search is changing. It will continue to change. And what do we need to do for your brand moving forward in the era of these different LLMs and how people are looking for content, how people are engaging with brands digitally. And Roop, you're going to do a lot of talking, my friend.
I am going to do a lot.
Yes.
That's why I brought a whole bottle of water
That's
today.
exactly right. Beautiful. And it's already 3/4 gone.
It's already 3/4 gone, which
Oh,
is not good for my bladder. So
Why, dude?
we talked
Why?
about butts. I don't see the problem.
Dude, God, I love you.
Back on
Okay.
topic.
All right,
back on
on
topic.
So why does content still matter in the age of AI search?
Yeah. So first off, let's talk before we jump into the content part. Let's talk a little bit about the differences between AI search and traditional search.
Good, fair,
and SEO in both. Because search engine optimization is about traditional SEO is about showing up in search rankings, primarily Google. The things they do, Bing and everyone else pretty much follows. So you want to show up in search. You want to show up higher on the page rank. SERP, they call it. Search engine page ranks. Ranking page. I think I always get that backwards. But you want to show up on the first 3 or 4 listings on the first page of Google. That's actually gotten tougher over the years, not because SEO got tougher to implement necessarily, but because the real estate that Google puts on the homepage for organic search terms has dwindled. So now when you load Google search, you see an AI component at the top, you see some ads, you might see some videos, and then you start to see your organic results. And on mobile, where most search takes place, I don't even know if there is organic on the first page anymore. You got to scroll away for it. But the whole idea was ranking.
Way down there.
It was ranking 1, 2, 3, 4 ranking, right? Which page 1, 2, 3, 4 ranking. AI search doesn't really work that way. The search at the top of Google is its own kind of thing. But like when you're interacting with Perplexity or ChatGPT or Gemini, you're not getting a ranking back. You're having a discussion with a AI bot, right? So that LLM is going to get content topics and learn off of things it can find on the internet, and it comes back and gives you its own paragraph of interaction. It's not ranking anything unless you've asked it to rank stuff, right? So how do you show up in a paragraph when you're not looking at ranking? And that's the main difference. And in that paragraph, 2 things primarily matter. right now. The favorability of how it's talking about you, is it saying you're a good brand, you're a trustworthy brand?
Is huge.
Brand sentiment, yes. Or is it saying there's a lot of bad reviews out there? This is not really a great brand. This is not a great product. So the sentiment is huge. And how frequently do you show up in those responses? Are you even noticed by AI? Are you on what would be SEO AI's 1,000th page? Or are you in the top consideration for it to use your content and your brand name for a response?
So I'm going to ask some dumb questions here.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to kind of jump through. We actually have a formal agenda. Very nice job, Rip. So you just brought up an example of Google.com, right? So you got the AI overview, you've got your paid search ads, then you have your organic, and very few are on the first page anymore. And I guess it just depends algorithmically on how you're searching.
Yeah.
So to Siva's point, what happens if I am not in Google? I'm in ChatGPT. I'm not in ChatGPT. I'm in Gemini. Obviously, Gemini is Google related, but you see what I'm saying? So you've got some people, and by the way, I still search in Google search bar. But then I do more, and I don't want to say deep research because that's a feature of ChatGPT, but I'm spending more and more time with ChatGPT when I really need to put some thoughts down and think through certain things strategically. But let's put our consumer hats on here.
Yeah.
You've got people searching in Google. You have people searching in ChatGPT. You have people going through Gemini. There's desktop versions. There are web browser versions. Yeah. So what does that look like? You hit on brand sentiment. That's very, very important. But as brands like Siva and Trent and Sean and other clients of ours think about their SEO strategy and their search and their content as they gear up for 2026, what do they need to be doing as user behavior is just totally changing? So sorry, that's a huge loaded question, but that's what he's asking.
It's okay. I'm going to pull something out of there.
Okay.
When you search on Google, and we've talked before AI came along, we talked about this.
Yeah, let's start with Google.
Well. When you did traditional SEO, you're trying to capture some keywords or phrases, primarily phrases. Those phrases tend to show up in the form of a question. Where is this? How do I get that? Who does whatever? What's the best brand for XYZ industry or whatever? And Google goes out, finds content, and returns. What you just described on AI is the same. You're asking it questions, and it's giving you a response.
Based on keywords?
Based on some phrases.
There you go. Okay.
So the same kind of fundamental bedrock applies to both. We're trying to create content that can answer a question, either a question for the Google SEO algorithm or a question that AI has latched onto is, you have a good resource for this question. I'm going to use your content to answer it.
Okay.
So we look at that as inbound content that's generated specifically to answer questions by your customers or users or whatever. And they have a question about, how do I do this? How do I do that? We want your brand to show up and your content to show up, not your competitors. So we spend a lot of time using AI now, actually, to figure out what those pockets are, where those holes are at between your competition, what your user base and their personas are after and what they're interested in, what the long tail looks like, because there's the volume of search that's like really high, and it's a lot more competition for that. There's also a long tail of search that gets a little thinner and smaller. That's easy pickings.
Yeah.
Grab that stuff. It adds up. So the content philosophy is the same. We want to create good, rich content that answers a question.
Video.
Yeah.
Blogs.
Yep.
White paper.
That's
what you're constituting as podcasts, right?
Yes. All the above.
So is it are these LLMs and Google itself, if we have a series of how-to videos or product videos or whatever, brand videos, whatever it may be, is it able to take that information and, especially from an LLM standpoint, and incorporate that into search result feedbacks? If I'm asking for a phrase or question, and it's like, hey, check out this insert client here video. Yeah,
so video is its own. I haven't seen a video. I haven't seen the video really shows up in LLM yet. But you can get some reference links that will send you off to a video. Okay. Sure. Yep. And does it use the video as informing its response? I'm going to be honest, I'm not 100% sure on that. But if you have a transcript you've supplied with your video, or YouTube's created a transcript, it's likely that it's probably looking at that as a source. I don't know where it ranks of video versus blog and regular, long form text content.
How are you searching these days? Let's say you're on the hunt for whatever.
I don't think about search in terms of search anymore. I think about it in terms of getting a question answered, which is I kind of go straight to it.
I like that.
So on my phone, I've actually changed. I still hit Google quite a bit, but I'm looking at those AI responses at the top. I mean, I kind of glance through that before I go wading through pages of response. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's easier. But I've also changed on my phone where OpenAI is right, or ChatGPT is right next to it. And frequently I'll use it instead. I'd say it's about 50-50 for me right now.
So the way that I'm looking, and again, party of one stakeholder here, party of one stakeholder over here, is I'll Google, I'll check ChatGPT. Okay, I didn't think about that brand. But then I'll go back to Google or go to that brand's website and then and then see what I like. And the user sentiment is, hey, do people like this brand? Do they have good interactions? Do they have good product? Do they have good customer service? Like that. And we've been talking about that for years, but I think now more than ever, that is so important, is this search, because people want to do business with great brands, with great product and great customer service.
Yeah. That's probably how most people do it. Philip and I were looking up something yesterday, ironically around SEO, not AI SEO, but traditional SEO. And I said, I don't know the answer to that. I think what you're doing may be duplicate content. So let's go find out. So we went to Google, we looked, we read the AI summary. It was saying that this could be a duplicate content situation, but we wanted to go deeper. And so then we started looking at the search results below that, which Reddit almost always shows up. So we went and looked at some Reddit posts. We went and read a few SEO air quotes experts blog posts, and we got a fuller opinion on the question we were tackling, because it required deeper thought and deeper opinion. And I think that's kind of the key. So on AI right now, you hear a lot about trust but verify, or don't trust and verify. I think as platforms like ChatGPT and Gemini and Claude and all the ones that are out there are seeking greater trustworthiness with their audiences. So that's why, like when you have a major upgrade like ChatGPT 5, and they say he hallucinates a lot less. Good, we want that, but it's also about earning trust, which has been a little bit damaged, I think, over the last couple of years with AI. Fair enough. But I think earning that trust back, because nobody questions Google search results, right? It's an authority. So like that's really where AI needs to catch up, is in that trustworthiness and giving really, really good vetted out and clean responses to your questions. And that's when when people start trusting it more, I think you'll start seeing more of a shift towards it.
So you have here as a stat, 90% of global search traffic is still Google.
Yeah.
That one was surprising to me.
Yeah. They're still king. I mean, there's no changing that.
And I wonder if it's people like myself, right? Yeah. I go to ChatGPT, but I do, like, ultimately, because I've been Googling for the last 15 years.
Right. It's a habit for a lot of us.
It totally is.
I mean, Google's like Kool-Aid or Band-Aid. It's become bigger than the brand. It's, go Google it. Well, I may use Bing, but I don't say Bing it.
Yeah.
You say Google it.
Yeah, totally.
So habit has got.
Ask Jeeves.
Good Lord.
RIP, man. Actually, they still think they're around, but
Google
anyway.
has figured out how to kind of own that concept, though. But even within Google owning it, within that 90%, you're still seeing AI at the very top of their results now. So they're also making that shift over towards AI. I do want to add one other thing, though, because we as we've talked about, like platforms like ChatGPT and Perplexity and others that do not have the brand value yet or history of Google. The reason we're even talking about this, because if you look at it, 90% is Google and most of it's still traditional SEO, why do we even care? You care because ChatGPT in particular got to 1 billion searches faster than Google did when it launched.
It's insane.
So when you look at like patterns and speed to growth, it's a comet. It's on the way. And the other reason we want to pay attention to it now is, even if you're someone who has ranked well on traditional SEO, you're probably doing pretty good on AI SEO as well right now. I hope you are.
Which I call AEO, answer everything optimization. I've seen a bajillion of them.
I do like AI SEO.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's the one I can remember. But even if you're doing well now, that's just because your competition has not yet kind of woken up to this and come up with a decent strategy. They will catch up. In the same days that, the early days of Google, a lot of people jumped right to the top, but then things started to even out a little bit over time as people realized how to rank and how important search was for their business.
Well, and that's a good point. And this is something that Steve and I talked about. If you wanted to focus on a select few amount of keywords, you could put a crazy budget to try to, take over that, whatever your keyword you're targeting, and you're up at the top. As we think through, keywords are still a thing, obviously. You've admitted that on this segment today. But as we think through how this just continues to change, I do personally, and please feel free to argue with me on this, I still think paid search is a thing.
Oh, 100%.
I still think, obviously, all things content, because it's great for SEO. It's great for your SEO strategy paired with your paid search strategy. And then as you think through AI, SEO, AEO, whatever you want to call it, like they all kind of marry together, even if you're in different LLMs.
Yes. And we've always said, just as an agency in my almost 15 years here, we've always kind of approached a strategy of paid and organic together is your best bet.
Yeah, for sure. With the old 1-2 punch.
Yeah. And so, on the organic side and the paid side, that's still going to be true. It's just, the way that content's being digested is for organic in particular is shifting a little bit. We don't know what the paid component is yet, or if there will be one for sites like Perplexity and OpenAI and ChatGPT and all that stuff. There'll probably be some level of it.
I've thought, does Google, the behemoth at some point, does Sam Altman and Sundar have a closed door conversation, and Google's like, hey, we're going to take, you start incorporating our paid search ads within and you're promoting certain things, you get a piece of the pie. I've gone that far. These people like to make money.
Yeah, and Philip and I were talking about for another podcast, but a discussion on how I think brands in particular may start making money themselves off of their own content for passing it up to AI search. I think that's likely. Right now, it's hard to block AI from crawling your site and grabbing your content. Yeah. Everyone's trying. I don't know why. You want to show up there, so don't block it. But there's some deeper content on some sites and some deeper data, I think, that would be useful for AI that's not quite connected or quite in place yet, that there could be some opportunities.
So as brands continue to adapt, as this continues to change, if you were to give one piece of advice just over the next 4 months, what is it?
Focus on an inbound content strategy. Okay. I mean, you should be doing that anyhow for organic search, but I think it's really important here.
And my last question, follow up to that, are different LLMs digesting content differently and giving you a different output?
Marginally. So I'm going to say because I don't want to take the agency down with me. I had started building an AI SEO tool at the beginning of the summer that was specifically to go out and hit the main players in AI, and it would throw a brand's name in and some questions, about 30 questions around their product or service, and it would study and measure how often you showed up and how favorable you showed up within these various platforms. And I was working on this for a few weeks amongst a million other things I was working on. And then one day we found out that, SEMrush, which is kind of the king of SEO tools and measurement, had already done it. So I trashed my files. And we just brought one there.
Nice work.
Yeah, I mean, great minds think alike, right? So it was a good exercise in, if you're going to build something now, how fast can you get it up? Because everyone's working on the stuff. But anyhow, SEMrush has a tool, and we've been using it for measuring some of our larger clients, getting a baseline down for where they are in AI search results. One of the things that it shows is ChatGPT versus Gemini versus Claude versus et cetera, et cetera. There's generally pretty minimal change between them. I have not seen yet anyone I've looked at where they're just dominating ChatGPT but failing on Gemini. Yeah, that's interesting. They're all pretty close. Okay. So there's not a great variance there. I think, if we do all of our traditional SEO, looking at Google as the main player there, who do you look at as the main player for AI SEO? Probably ChatGPT, but I wouldn't shy away from Gemini and Google either there.
Totally. So everyone has their own different way. Yeah. Okay, this is amazing. And as we think through like a year from now, are we just only talking AI?
I mean, 2 months from now, probably. I mean, yeah, it's definitely the game right now. I think we're coming up on a era where it'll be normal. It won't be so shiny.
Yeah, so
anymore.
shiny. Yeah,
because for a long time we were like traditional marketing and digital marketing. Now traditional marketing is digital, and I think that's mostly what's going to happen.
I'll give you a sneak peek of my CEO conference that's coming up in a couple of weeks. We'll talk about it when you're back from inbound, but it's for the first time ever. It is all AI focused, of course, in the lens of marketing, but usually it's a small segment of AI, and now it is all AI.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, to our friend Siva. Thank you, because you always we try to catch up quarterly. I was a little delayed this just with summer travels, et cetera. We catch up personally, we catch up professionally on the relationship, and then Siva always asks me just one great perplexing question. And as we were wrapping last week, he's like, "Hey, I got a question for you." I was like, "Bring it on." So Siva, thank you, because this is something that is absolutely top of mind. This is translatable for all of our clients, future prospective clients, et cetera. And Rup was telling me before this, just statistically within our own podcast, when we chat about this, our numbers are quite a bit up.
Yeah.
Our open rates are quite a bit up because this is something that is very top of mind. So Siva, thank you very much. Rup, really well done. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you, sir.
And to Rup and to Claude, safe travels out west. I'm heading out east next week. We will be back the week of September 8th. Get ready, get hyped. Back to school, here we are, and we'll see you guys then. Bye, y'all.
Adios.
And that's a wrap. We hope you found a spark of inspiration for your marketing strategy. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us at Littlefield Agency to keep the conversation going. Catch you next time.